All right, let's see who drops in on us. Man, this parking lot is loud. Good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. If anybody drops in, say hello, say hello. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to fix this later. Hi, Brock. Betty Boopity. Sailor Girl. Hi, everybody. I know time zones are weird, so it'll be interesting to see who shows up here this early in the mornings. Okay, I'm seeing more people roll in. Hello, hello. How's the snazzy new digs? The snazzy new digs are roomy. Like I can stretch my arms out and I'm not touching like the ends of each side of my house, which is what used to be the case. All right, let's see. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you for all the congratulations. I was not looking to like cross 10K like as soon as I did because like my channel growth had been really like stagnated and slow. And like I was at 8K for a while, and that's nothing to sleep on, but I was like, okay, it's just gonna be slow growth. And then that last like 2000 just like came out of nowhere, and that was on top of this happening. So yeah, my little stuffed animal family is back there in the corner, by the way. Oh, good morning, everybody. All right, so yes, I am in the new van. Now that a lot of people have popped on, I'll start like officially talking. The beginning was kind of bleh. I don't really know what to do in this live stream. I just wanted to come in and check in with everybody. I know it was like a huge surprise to find out that I had gotten a new van. It was something I was certainly planning on getting in the future, but I knew like it was something I was going to have to plan long term for. So like I honestly did not believe Ken the first time he emailed me because, oh, thank you for the 199 super chat, Gina Pay. um, you get an email like that, you're like, no, you're kidding. Nobody does that. Like that doesn't happen. Like people aren't like, here, you know. Um, I enjoy your channel, you know. Here's a gift. I don't know. That's not the exact thing. I don't know how much Ken wants me to say or not say. But basically when he first contacted me, I did not believe him. And I honestly didn't believe it up to the moment I was stepping off the plane. um, and then I was driving this van down the road and I couldn't like believe it. Like my mind was blown away. Um, so yeah, I'm still I'm still getting over it and getting past it and getting used to it. Even though I've spent like the last 3 days doing some like minor renovations and tweaks to the van. So yeah. um, so what do you guys have? Because I don't have anything. I'm so like, I don't even know how to feel right now. Let me put my top on my tea so that I don't spill it. I made myself some tea this morning. I can say the best thing about the new van is that I have like a permanently set up countertop where I can just leave my stove out. And like in the minivan, I had to always like reach down beside the bed, pull the stove out, set the stove up. It was like a whole shebang. And so it took all these steps before I could actually like just like make food or even just heat up water, because I don't have a hot water heater. So if I need to warm water, I need to do it on the stove. So sometimes I wasn't even pulling out the stove to cook. It was just to like warm up water so I can like make my wash up water a little warmer, or just make a quick like cup of tea. And like going through a billion steps just to make a quick cup of tea, it was never fun. So now like I have like a permanently set up, my stove fit. It's kind of big, honestly. I probably could get a smaller stove, but it does fit like perfectly in front of the sink that he installed. I have a sink, which is weird. He gave me the water pump for the sink, but the water pump wasn't hooked up. He like literally gave me like a physical water pump and was like, I got as far as the drain. I wasn't able to finish setting up the sink. And he was like apologizing. I'm like, you're giving me a sink that's already inset and you're giving me a free water pump. And all I have to do is figure out how to put them together. I can do that. And I did figure it out, but I did flood my cabinet 3 times before I got the sink working. And that was just because I didn't have things secured properly. So I had to pull everything out the cabinet and like wipe it down. And I have some oh, thank you, Iconic Night, for the super chat. So I had to like literally pull everything out and then wipe up under there because like I flooded underneath the cabinet a couple of times, getting the sink working, but now it works. And so I have running water, which is cool because I haven't had like running water in the van, for a while. I just did a gravity thing where I had like a jug of water and gravity like sent the water out, which I'm not against. I think it's a great way. Like Chrome's been doing that for like 2 years now. So there's nothing wrong with gravity fed water, but it's also nice to have a sink. So, van life is like a billion things, and there's no wrong or right way to do it and no wrong or right vehicle to do it in. Let me see. I'm just going to look because there's just a lot of like blessings and thank yous and like, thank you everybody. Also just for watching my channel and enjoying my videos. And I didn't really think like I would ever get this far on YouTube. I started YouTube, because I wanted that other perspective out there, sort of the perspective of people who can't start with the big fancy vans, and those people, we tend to have our high end category and our low end category. And I don't think that's fair because like there are beautiful people doing van life out of cars. People who are happy where they want to be, doing what they want to do, have outfitted their vehicle in a way that's comfortable for them to live out of. And a car is specifically very non-traditional. I couldn't do it long term. Bless those people who can. And so van life is legitimate in a car, in an SUV, in a minivan, in a full-size van, in the standing height van, as long as it's your choice and you're getting something out of it that is positive, and positive energy is resulting from being in that lifestyle. If it's negative energy, I don't care if your van is standing height, you are homeless. If all you're getting is negative energy, and bad stuff happens. That's not saying bad stuff doesn't happen. That's not saying like van life is like perfection all the time. But as long as you're getting like positive energy and not negative energy, you can have a standing height van with all the fancy stuff. If you're unhappy, because a van is always a small space, even when it's standing height. Like, have you seen how much floor space you have in a van? Like from wall to wall, like it's a lot of shuffling and wiggling, even when you can stand up. And so like people build these beautiful vans, and because they want it to function like an apartment, they're still miserable. in like huge, expensive vans, you know? And that's like, that's not van life. That's what's not van life. If you are happy in a car, that's van life. If you are unhappy in your beautiful, you know, built out Sprinter, that's not van life, because like it's not bringing you joy and energy. So that was, I get into these rants sometimes, y'all. Oh my gosh, did I get another super chat? I totally got another super chat while I was like running my mouth. I'm sorry, sometimes these things like come by so fast. Let me see. Oh, this software is so freaking confusing. Thank you, Vanlife with Gina Payne, for the super chat. Thank you, Theresa Sundata, for the $4.99 super chat. Oh my gosh, you guys are so like generous. Thank you so much. Mildred says, tell us about your van. Let us see it. I'm so happy for you. I have videos coming up that are going to get into a lot more of the details. I can tell you it's a 2001 Chevy Express 1500. Oh, excuse me. That was gross. Ooh, gross. But anyway, it's a what's known as a conversion van. So that basically means it was a passenger van that was outfitted with some fancy stuff, like these inset lights that do not work unless the car's on. Which is why I've added some more lighting that I can control independent of the car being on. Ken did install one light, but it's just not enough light when like I'm fiddling around in here in the dark. So, but he gave me a duplicate of that light. So he gave me one light that was installed and one light that wasn't installed. And I took that second light and installed it over the kitchen. I had to do some crimping and like run some wires and stuff. So I did that and installed that second light, and I also added some other lighting, but that's like a whole video that I shot, and so that's going to be coming up next week, so I don't want to get too much into that. I finished the sink. I added the water pump. There was already a fridge in here that he gave me with the van. And yeah, I basically just did some tweaks to sort of make it, you know, homey. It's like you go and you view a home and you're like, this is awesome, like I want to live here. But also when you move in, you want to make these tweaks to sort of make it your own. Like I said, it's a passenger van, so it doesn't really have any custom insulation so much as this was the van. And you know, it just had seats in it instead of like house stuff. Ken installed the countertop and the sink. There's a 200 amp hour battery and 300 watts of solar on the roof and 1,000 watt inverter, which is the biggest inverter I've ever had. I think the Core gave me a 700 watt inverter. And before that, I had a 3 and a 400 watt inverter. I lived for a long time with like 150 watts. Like when I first started and I had my car and I was just plugging something into like the thing, I had like a little 150 watt, 12 volt, you know, inverter. So yeah, you will get to see more of this is the inside, but you'll get to see more of it in videos upcoming this week. And I gotta be that YouTuber and hold that content, you know. Now everybody's going to be mad at me like, Dawn, what? Show us a tour. This is all you're getting right now because I really like want to work on some really nice content in the upcoming weeks. And in fact, don't get confused. The videos coming up are going to go back to the day after I got the van and then follow me back into Berkeley and everything that's going on. So you'll get to see plenty of the van in those videos. Eventually there will be like a tour, but you'll get to see a lot of what the van looked like before I did any work on it, a lot of what it looks like now, sort of as videos come up throughout the week. You know, I got to be that YouTuber, man. You know, that's where the channel keeps growing. You got to keep them coming back for more. So this is just a tease. This is all you get in the van today. I ran my mouth so much. And there's like stuff coming up. Let me see. Tour. Like I said, you'll get to see way more of the van in future videos. Hopefully nobody won't get mad and like leave. Let me see. I'm just looking at the comments right now. Julie asked me, can I give more details about how Ken came to gifting you the van? I'm not sure how much he wants me to talk about it. Because he wanted to be semi-anonymous in his gift. But like I said, he sent me an email and we proceeded to have conversations based on that email. I did not believe him literally until the moment. Even when I was getting off that plane and walking out of the airport, I was prepared to dip into my savings account, buy a plane ticket, go back home and get back in my minivan. Like the entire time. And then I was in this van and driving it and it was real. So yeah, I did not believe, because that doesn't happen. Like, yeah. And thank you for the super chat. I think you might have done it a couple of times. Sorry, I'm slowly scrolling through the chat. And so like I'm a little bit behind as quickly as the chat is going. So I got your 140. Actually, you did 149 3 times. I hope that wasn't a mistake. So thank you for the super chats. Where was I? I don't know. Lumia, I just saw your $5 super chat. El Ray, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Lumia, as well. Did I get everybody? Oh man, the chat is going so fast. Guys, I do scroll back and forth trying to like see if there's any questions I'm missing. So have patience with me. These chats are really hard to keep up with, especially once I start talking. And next thing I know, there's like 30 comments. Anna's also asking for a tour. I know everybody wants a tour. Like I said, there'll be lots of the interior of the van coming up in future videos. Monday, I'm still doing my check-in about what's going on with Monday. I always do a health check-in, and that's just for me. That's something I need to keep myself even no matter what's going on. So I'm going to do that. And then, like I said, don't get confused because the videos will go back in time about a week just to chart my journey home. And you'll see plenty of the van in that journey home. And then at some point, there'll be an official tour. Right now, I'm still working on renovations. So, yeah. Iconic Night asked me if I can do a video geared towards what I've been eating. I've just had a lot of stress talking about eating online. And so that's why I don't really focus on it too much. And maybe that's just my own insecurities. I'm going to go way off subject, guys. So when around middle school and high school, I was very insecure about my weight. Now I can tell you right now, I know I'm losing weight because I had to like pull my belt buckle to really get my pants to stay up the other day. So I know I'm losing weight. But that being said, as a fat girl in school, I always felt like if people saw me eating, they would judge me just for eating. Didn't matter what I was eating. It could have been a salad or ice cream. I personally felt, whether it was true or not, and this was a personal insecurity, that people were thinking, why is the fat girl eating? Like eating at all. Forget if it was eating bad stuff, good stuff, stuff in the middle, whatever. I have huge insecurities about being judged on what I'm eating, even when I'm trying to eat well. And so that's why I don't talk about what I eat too much. I don't get into too many details. You know, I talk about ways I'm trying to improve my eating, that I'm trying to clean my eating, that I'm trying to get away from processed foods. I'm not going to say I'm completely away from them because honestly, like living in a van, things that have a decent shelf life are valuable as a food source. There's more super chats coming in and I'll try to catch up with them because I'm like way behind in the chat right now. But I just wanted to address that. That's why I don't do a lot of with food on video. It's because like I think it stems from that insecurity. And then in middle school and high school, because I had that insecurity about food, what I would do is I would not eat in school the entire day, and then I would go home and I would binge eat in reaction to the fact that I was avoiding eating all day because I didn't want anybody to see me eat. Because I thought they would feel like a fat girl shouldn't be eating. Whatever she was eating, she shouldn't be eating it. And like, health-wise, I know that's wrong. Like, you should eat even while you're losing weight. Like, you should clean your eating. But I have a lot of insecurities about being judged on what I'm eating. And so that's why I don't really do a lot with food on camera. So yeah, that was a long rant, and the chat is probably a million miles long while I was like talking about that. Tammy says I seem happier and glowing. Thank you so much. Thank you, quick ice car reviews, asking people to subscribe. Yeah, if you're not subscribed and you're enjoying my videos, I would love to continue to grow. You know, hopefully, I don't know, what should I shoot for? 15K is around the corner, 20K someday. We'll see how long this train runs. Let me see. I'm scrolling now. I'm trying to scan and see if there's stuff. Thank you. That's Annette says no more super chats, so she shows the van. I already filmed those videos, and I'm dedicated to like my content. I don't want to destroy that content. I think there's a journey that the content needs to go on. So honestly, if you don't want to give me a super chat, the videos are coming, and I'm not changing my mind. Like, this camera's gonna stay right here the entire time. I will answer as many questions about the van as I can. Like, if you say, how much solar do you have? I have 300 watts now. So that stuff I have no problem answering. Also, parking has been no problem. Like, the exact same ease I've had with parking in the past, and I park in the city all the time. It's been the exact same. There's been no trouble parking in the new van compared to the old van, because this is on paper, it is a passenger van. That's what it is. It's not an RV. It's not a Class B. It's a passenger van, just like the minivan, except bigger, with the seats ripped out and a build inside of it. So yeah, there's been no change in parking or stealth parking or any of that. Shauna Halls, I'm living in my van now for almost 5 years. I'm getting an apartment next week. Go you! Do what makes you happy. I'm trying to scan real fast because I know the chat is like way ahead of me. Van Joy says you should use CashApp so YouTube doesn't take a chunk of your donations. CashApp, you keep 100% of the money. After many requests, I did make a CashApp. It's usually in the description of my videos. It's not in the description of this video yet because I'll have to go back and edit it. Once it's done, I'll edit the description and put my normal descriptors in there. I don't advertise my donations. Like, I don't want to ask for them. If people feel like they want to give, that's a beautiful thing, and it does help me. Like, I had to get this van registered. I had to get it smog checked. I bought some wood so I could build a bed. Like, so I have spent some money on the van, even though the van itself didn't really cost me anything. So I'm not going to say like, oh, I'm like rich and I don't need money and it's just pouring in. No, there's stuff that, you know, there's all kinds of things that are good, but I don't ever sort of ask for donations. And people have asked for ways to donate. And so I always put that in the description of my videos. And I did add Cash App recently. There's a PayPal link and a Cash App link, both of which are free for people to use when they want to use it. I can't remember what it is. It'll be in the description of the video by the time I do a replay. But it exists. Oops, I'm like accidentally, like my elbow was accidentally hitting my phone. Let me see. Blah, blah, blah. I'm running my mouth. Let me see. Sorry, guys. I'm reading the chat. I'm trying to catch up. Okay. It's Like, it's so far ahead of me right now. Oh, man. Oh, I am so behind, guys. I'm gonna do quick scans. If I don't see a question, I'm just gonna keep you so I can catch up with you guys. So if I miss something, I'm sorry. Let me see. Kathleen Klein says, I predict you're going to give Chrome a run for his money. No, Chrome has more style than I could ever have. Did you see pictures of that man's apartment before he moved into a van? Like, as much as he jokes, like, I'm a dude and I'm doing it this way, I'm like, dude, you have more style than I have in my, like, right hand. Like, so yeah, I don't think I'll ever give Chrome a run for his money. Like, he has an insane, and I think it's because he's a DJ, so his life has been, like, flashy. Whereas, like, I've, like, been hiding backstage. You know, I can dress dumpy. Nobody's really looking at me. In fact, my whole, like, theater career, you know, as a stage manager, stagehand, all that is about not being seen. So I think there's just a different sort of way you get, like, how he's seen. You know, being in a career like a DJ's career is way different, even though I don't think he's caught up in what people think. But there is a certain flashiness to the kind of people who succeed at that kind of job, as opposed to me. So, like, I think my decorating style is pretty dumpy compared to him, and will always be. Wondering, Renegade says, actually film ahead and pre-plan execution. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. A lot has happened in the last couple of days or the last week, I should say, because I've had this van for a week now. So, like, life happens, and I'm learning how to, like, catch up to it. Margaret, thank you for the $5 super chat. I don't think I thank you for that. Roxbury said, so what did I miss? Did someone give you a new van? Yes, I was pretty much gifted a 2001 Chevy Express conversion van, otherwise known as a passenger van. So yeah, I have a completely different van. And I found out somebody lost their van in an electrical fire. At least he believes it was an electrical fire. So he's going to be getting my van. We're making arrangements to sort of make that exchange. And I found out about it not through him, but through somebody else who had, like, said, did you know? And that person didn't know I had a new van at the time. They were just giving me information. And so it seemed like the universe was telling me what to do with the old van. Because, like I said, I hadn't told this person. I only told a couple of people I was, like, going to do this and possibly not come home with this van. And while I was on my way back, I got a text. And in the middle of the text, which it wasn't even, like, specifically telling me about this was mentioned. And so when I found out that happened, it just seemed like, and I had to think over it a few days because I was trying to decide. I thought about donating my old van to Hawa. What I did know, and I knew it from the moment I had the keys for this van in my hand, I was like, I was given a gift of this van. I do not want to sell my old van for money. It feels like a proper exchange to the universe to find someone who needs the van and give them my old van. And so that felt like the right thing to do, not to try to, like, profit, off the situation, which I felt like if I sold my old van, that would have been the result. And so, yeah. Chora, yes. My name is on the title. I just saw that. And the chat keeps jumping. I might just do this another way. Let me see if this works. because I cannot keep up with this. No, I need to stick with this. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Audrey, I am happy to have more space as well. Thank you so much. Especially like the permanently set up countertop. Like that was such a win. Jathan, thank you for the $5 super chat, and I'm glad you're happy for me. Let me see. I talked about that. I talked about solar. Mary D, I have found someone to take the minivan, so I'm going to basically transfer ownership to that person because they had a van fire. I don't like to say who or people's names without their permission. Like, I'm choosing to put myself on the internet. So I don't like to give information until I confirm that other people want that information shared. But I do know someone who lost their van in an electrical issue. And so I'm going to give them the Sienna since I have this van. And yes, I fully own this van. I've gone to California smog and got my DMV, got cleared with smog, got my DMV tags. I own this van, like, flat out. Julie, I am back in California. I've been in California for 3 days doing renovations. JM says just food and that's what everybody eats. That's probably to my earlier rant where I was just going on blah blah blah. I talk too much. A Haran, much delayed thank for the $5 super chat. Celia Harris, glad Ken chose you. You seem like a good person, along with being intelligent, interesting, and a good role model for Vandra. Thank you, Celia. I don't know if I am all those things, but Nikki Boo says, I'm proud of you. Do your thing. My husband and I are trying to live like you. Do you have a Facebook? I do have a personal Facebook. I'm never on Facebook because I'm overwhelmed by Facebook. So I just literally never go on Facebook. Every once in a while, when I get reminded about people's birthdays, I maybe go and I make sure I give them a happy birthday, but I pretty much stay off Facebook. It's too much these days. Especially when trying to keep up with social media related to the channel and emails and Patreon and all the stuff like related to the channel. Facebook is just too much. So I just kind of avoid it now. Unless like somebody who I'm only connected to through Facebook because we've lost connection with each other another way, tries to reach me there. Like I have a couple of aunts back in the DC area who occasionally contact me through Facebook. So I still have Facebook, but I don't use it. I don't really go on it. And I find once I get on there, there's just too much and I can't handle it and it stresses me out. So I ever get lost in it for too long and then I need a break from it. And then, yeah. That's my answer about Facebook. I avoid Facebook. Just Celia said, congratulations. So happy for you. You deserve all this goodness and gave me a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. Dawn Carroll, thank you for the sympathy. Yeah, it's, being big kids get teased. There's really nothing you can do about it. Vanlife Short says, congrats on 10K. You're going to keep growing. You deserve the best. Thank you so much. Jessica said, from one fat girl to another, screw people that don't like us. Eat girl, eat. And I will eat with friends and in public, but judgment from the online community is too much for me because they see 5 seconds of your life and assume what the rest of your life is. and I don't even want to see the comment. I don't want to argue with them online about it. I just don't even want to have the conversation. So yeah, um, that's basically how that is. This is old delayed. This is delayed reactions because I'm just catching up to these. A lot of comments about like being plus size and being on that journey. Thank you, thank you. And that's another thing I enjoy about being online. I find so many people uh who have similar journeys to mine, and it's really nice to know that you're not alone. And so that's been a beautiful thing, finding those people. um Jessica Harper says, are you a vegan, vegetarian, or a carnivore? Technically I'm what you would call pescatarian, which means I'm mostly vegetarian, but I still eat seafood on occasion. um I gave up eating meat in high school, slowly and in stages. And it had a lot more to do with issues with animal handling and food processing than anything else. Now, obviously, even once you like become vegetarian, quote unquote, there's still plenty of bad stuff you can eat. I mean, like, you can be a vegetarian and eat cake. Now, there's the whole lacto-avo argument, which I'm not going to get into. Like, are you really a vegetarian if you eat animal byproducts like eggs? But that's where veganism is much more clear about those things, where it's like veganism is like no animals and no animal byproducts either, whereas vegetarianism is more flexible, except for the not eating anything that had a mother thing. And then, like, you have your flat out carnivores. But I'm in what they call the category of pescatarian. A lot of times I'll just tell people I'm vegetarian so they don't offer me things I don't eat. And I mostly am trying to stick with a vegetarian diet. Now, the transition I'm trying to make is actually, eating more vegetables and not just avoiding meat, which is, basically, and I don't see myself going back to meat just because, like, I haven't eaten in over 20 years. So yeah, that's just, and I don't miss it. Like, I don't really miss it, to be quite honest. I'm not like dying to have it. I don't feel I've lost anything. So it's more about cleaning up what I do eat as opposed to like anything else. Now the chat has gotten away from me again. I talk too much, guys. Julie N, this is an interesting comment, and I don't want to read it. I just want to display it. So that's a little bit of the problem because some of the things I've bought over the last couple of months, especially just as I was leaving Oregon, were very specific to the minivan experience. And I honestly don't need them in this van. They don't work for this van. In addition to everything else, there's a porta potty in here. So now I have the porta potty, and honestly, I've been using it. And except for now, I have to go through this whole weird dump situation that I'm just not used to. Like, I'm not used to having this porta potty that I have to dump. And it is one of the portable ones that you literally just sit inside the van. It's going to be a new experience. And yeah, if I had been planning to buy this van, there are things I would not have bought that I ended up buying. Like my 3 bucket system. I only need 2 of those now. One of them I don't need anymore because I have the porta potty. So yeah. Piffy, I already answered if I'm selling my old van. I am not. I have found someone for it. I don't feel like I should sell my old van because I got this van for free. And I feel like the only fair exchange in the universe is to find someone who also could use a van and give that van to them, just as this one was given to me. And that feels good to me. Whether I need the money or not, whether extra money is good or not, that feels good to me. I'm scanning. Oh my God, I cannot keep up with this chat. I'm like doing such a bad job, guys. uh, and I have so whoa, yeah, whoa, DKK. Oh, there is so many super chats. So yeah, these things are going like crazy. So DKK, thank you for the 129 super chat. I can't see who the name is for this. Sorry, I'm just. Oh wow, there's. Oh, you guys are being so generous with the super chats. Oh wow, I've missed so much. I've like lost the chat. I'm sorry, guys. Deb says I could gift the minivan to Bob Wells charity. I think I missed some super chats here, and I can't see them all anymore. Damn it. Sorry, guys. I've lost the chat. I'm scrolling up now. I lost the chat, guys. I'm sorry. If you sent a super chat and I didn't shout you out, I might have just lost it in the chat. Just Celia, I see the $10 super chat. Oh my God, dude. There we go. Oh, DKK, you were so generous with the super chats. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you for the $50 super chat. I was like, I wanted to find out who that icon belonged to. David Yule, thank you for the $4.99 super chat, and he says 15,000, 20,000. Let's shoot for 100,000. Yes. I'm scrolling. Jessica Harper says, yes, I hear you, a fake book. Kim asked me, am I going to name the new van? And I know this has been coming up a lot. I have not drinking a sip of my tea, so I'm going to sip it. It's at that perfect warm stage. Okay, so story time, so I can miss some more of the chat. Because I'm really not keeping up with this chat well. So story time. My first car, it was an old Honda. It was like a 90s Honda that I bought in the 2000s. I gave it a name and I was so happy. I got my license at 33 years old, guys. I'm 40 now. So I got my license at 33. It just took me a while. It took me a while to find other adults to teach me how to drive. And I had an accident. No, that's not true. There was an accident later, but I had the car just stopped working. It was an old used car. It just flat out stopped working, and I didn't know why. And so I took it to a mechanic. I spent all this money to get it up and running, and then the car got hit. And that was the first and last car I ever named. And maybe it's because I want to keep a detachment with my vehicles. Because I was so proud of myself for getting this car. I got it flat out. I paid for it in full. My next vehicle, it took me a while, but I was able to get another vehicle. I got that on a payment plan from a dealership, and I didn't buy it used from owner. And that's because I had been screwed over so bad with used from owner. And I didn't really know anything about cars. I didn't know what to look for. I just was like, I'm going to find me an old beater car and like save money. And that only works if you kind of know what you're doing. Just because a car is cheap doesn't mean like it's going to stay cheap, because if it's going to cost you more in repairs than the car itself, then it's ultimately not worth it. And so like, Point is, after that, I never named another car. Like, I always called the cars what they were. I had a Kia Sportage for years. It was just a Kia. My Sienna van, I never called it anything but the Sienna. And I have not named this van because, like, it's absolutely dumb and absolutely illogical. But I feel like if I keep a detachment from the vehicle, it keeps it safe. And so I don't tend to name my vehicles. I've never named a vehicle since that first car I owned. They were just whatever brand they were. It was like, oh, there's my Kia. There's the Sienna, the Avalon that I had before the Sienna was the Avalon. It was the Toyota Avalon. So yeah, that is my story about naming cars, and I have not named a car since the first car I ever owned. And it's just a superstition that has stuck with me. And all of my cars after that have lasted longer, but it also could have been like I was dumb. I had never owned a car before. I remember I got my first car. I drove to the gas station, and then I was like, all right, I need to pump gas. And I was like, how do you do that? Because I'd never pumped gas before in my life at 33. So I didn't even know that diesel was different from like regular unleaded gas. And I picked up the diesel thing. I feel like an idiot now that I would ever do that. And luckily it didn't fit, so it didn't work, but I was like, it took me a second to figure out what. If you guys had seen me, you would have been sitting there like, this idiot. It went smooth after that. I made one mistake, but yeah, that's my first car when I finally got my license at 33. It's much harder to get this has nothing to do with anybody in the chat. But it's much harder to get your license as an adult than a teenager. And that just has to do with if you're a teenager learning from your parents usually teach you how to drive. So you have like a built-in teacher. Now, rather that whole situation is stressful or whatever, or maybe you have driver's ed like through your school. But there are systems around helping teenagers learn to drive. When you have gone through your teenagehood without that system happening. And a lot of it was I knew I couldn't afford a car in high school, so I didn't really see the point in getting a license. I could get around. I was getting around just fine. Like, I was in the Baltimore local neighborhood. There was no place I couldn't get where I was like, oh, having a car is going to change my life and I'm going to be able to access all these things. And so what happened was I became an adult and I had a job that was really far away. So I was taking a train and 2 buses to get to work. And that's when I started really getting motivated to try to get a license. And then it took me several years for that to actually happen because I had to find other adults who were willing to risk their car on teaching me how to drive. But I never thought while they were teaching me how to drive, let's go to a gas station so you can show me how to pump gas. I'm an idiot sometimes, guys. And I've gone far off of the chat. I'm not even looking at it. I'm just like, going on. I have missed stuff. I don't think I'm going to catch up. So I'm just going to jump in where I'm looking and listen. So Jessica Harper says, do you think van life would be okay for a child to do with a parent? Yes. I've seen people successfully do it, but you have to really commit to what that means. Like, are you talking about living locally or traveling? If you're living locally, I would try not to live in a van if you can avoid it, to be quite honest, with a kid. If you're traveling, I think that's different. Because you can do the homeschooling, and if you want to go down that path and you're kind of showing the kid the world, I mean, if you can learn about the mines by actually visiting some place where you can learn about the mines as opposed to a classroom, I think that's an awesome experience. But in a city, like with a kid, I don't know that I would do it. And it's not a matter of safety. It has more to do with, like, once you're in a city with children, you're in sort of a different social environment. It's not like just about you doing whatever you want to do, which is what I do. I think it'd be safe, but I think it's a question of why are you doing it? If you're doing it for just financial savings with a kid, I don't know that I would do that as like a local, just urban van dweller, and maybe somebody has doing it. Now for traveling, I think that's amazing. As long as you have a vehicle that like works for you and that child, where like you're both comfortable and nobody feels like they're losing anything. Julian says Chrome just got new off-road tires in Classy Room's van. Can you imagine the cost of that? Yes, he's doing very well to afford that right now. Also, Chrome has cut all his expensive. The things you can afford, once you start cutting, you know, the stuff you pay on a daily basis, is can be mind-blowing over time. Now, I haven't gotten there. You know, I just that my last $100 on my last credit card that I owed, I just paid off maybe like 2 weeks ago. So yeah. Tracy told me to stop speaking negative about myself. Okay. I am way behind. I'm way back in the chat, aren't I? If you sent a super chat and I missed it, I'm sorry. Those things disappear, and once I start talking, sometimes I forget. For the people still asking about my van, it is not for sale. I've already decided on someone I'm going to give it to who lost their van. I'm trying to catch up. Sorry, guys. Live chats are hard. Some people were like, screw this. I just wanted a van tour and you're not doing it. So they just left. I talked about naming the van. DKKU, Remy 7000, my bad. I see what's going on now. Thank you for all of the super chats. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really like handling this badly. I'm doing terrible, man. I just want to jump on this comment right now because I thought it was interesting. Right here. I'm going to jump on this right here. This is true. And I think people misunderstand how YouTube works sometimes. They're like, oh, you're getting free stuff. And yes. But the thing is, like Happy Camper Kits, when they outfit it, and I'm just going off on this just to explain it because I think some people misunderstand. Like Happy Camper Kits built stuff for Chrome. But the benefit of doing that build for Chrome is he's now built his business because Chrome has exposure on YouTube. So because people watch Chrome's channel and they like his build, they'll then go to Happy Camper Kits, and Happy Camper Kits will ultimately, in the business of YouTube, profit in multiple builds from the one build they gave away for free. Now, they did it because they wanted to and they liked him, probably. But at the same time, it did help build the business. And that's a lot of times what sponsorships are about as well, is like, or like deals, promotional deals. It's that it's benefiting both parties. So because people have exposure on YouTube, sometimes they get free things. This is not one of those things because Ken wasn't running a company. It was a flat out like gift. So they like to do that. Like Dietary aligns itself, not with me. I don't have any sponsorship deals, but Dietary aligns itself with YouTubers. And so giving one unit to that YouTuber could possibly sell hundreds of units. And it's sort of the same thing when people get like things donated to their van. Sometimes they get a discount. Sometimes they get it flat out for free. So a lot of these big YouTubers that have like huge lithium battery banks, they also didn't pay market price for that probably. Sometimes, like I said, a lot of times they don't get it for free. They just get a discount. Even Nate with Element Vanlife, his pop top on his camper, that I believe was a discount deal, if I remember correctly. So like he did pay some money for the pop top, but it was done quicker than they normally would for the advertisement. and he got a discount on getting the pop top in the first place, as I understand it, if I remember correctly. So that's how those things work. I know people are like sometimes like really judgmental of YouTubers, but if people are trying to like live off YouTube, though that's kind of just part of the ability to live off YouTube, because ad revenue is the most undependable thing there is. It can change from month to month. You know, all types of, and YouTube can change their algorithms. They can change how they pay out. But with things like Patreon and sponsorships and things like that, like, you know what you have coming in, especially if you're trying to just do YouTube. Yeah, so that's my spiel on that. So as long as people are doing it respectfully and they're not like not talking about things that are pieces of crap just to get like the sponsorship deal or payout or whatever, I'm okay with it. Like, I don't really get mad about that kind of stuff. Like, I think, you know, if you are being business minded about your channel, it just sort of comes with the deal, because just ad revenue, it can go all kinds of ways. It can go down, it can go up. You never know what's really coming. Whereas with this other stuff, you kind of know what the exchange is. Like, if you're just getting an object or you're getting like an affiliate deal or whatever it is, that's why these people do that. And I think sometimes people are like way too judgmental about what they call e-begging versus just treating YouTube as a business. And there is a fine line, because YouTube is such an odd thing. It's not like, you know, when you have a regular job and you go, and I'm sorry, I'm missing the chat again. I'm so bad at this. It's not like when you have a regular job and you're going to get a rate for a certain amount of hours, or even when you do a contract and you're like, okay, to do this job, you get this amount of money. Well, with sponsorships and affiliates and like things like that, like, you know what you're getting. You're like, okay, if I do this work, you know, if I advertise your product on 10 videos, this is what I get from that. I either get the product for free, or I get so much money from people who click on the link in the case of affiliate deals, or I get this. And so you can quantify that a little bit easier than whatever ad revenue is going to be in a month. So ideally, that's why a lot of YouTubers go that route. And some people get sponsorships like pretty early, and other people never get them at all, and they get up to like huge numbers in subscribers. YouTube's a weird space because there's no direct line to how you make money on YouTube. I don't know why I went into that spiel. Maybe because like I'm just giving up on keeping up with this crazy chat. But sometimes I see stuff and I'm like, I want to comment on that. And so this is when I get just to talk. I probably missed some super chats. I'm so sorry. Okay. Vanning, I like this comment because I want to talk about that. I have noticed in this van, because I do need to move over to the kitchen area, there's something about that activation that is actually helpful. Like, I'm more likely to get up, to get my day started, to get moving. And like in the minivan, like this was my entire home. Like I sat up in bed in the morning, I reached this way and there was, you know, my breakfast stuff, or I'm pulling out stuff so I can set up, but I never moved from this space. And just to get up this morning, do my sponge bath, brush my teeth, make my morning tea, prepare for this video, like I moved a lot more. Now, mind you, it was kind of weird moving because like I can go to about right here and then I go like this and then I'm like sliding over and I'm doing this. And so like, but I'm like, it's something about getting up. And then like I love these barn doors because they're just awesome. Like barn doors are awesome. It's like having this welcoming like hug that's opening up. Like I love barn doors. I always envied cargo vans with barn doors. Like love it. James Sherman says I need to get some sponsors now. I would love to. I am trying to do a transition into, at least for the time being, really focusing on doing YouTube for income. And I just want to see how long, like if I can accomplish that, you know, and if I can, it would allow me to see more of the world than I've seen. When I moved from Maryland to California, I saw nothing. I got on a plane for the first time in my life. I was 37, I think. Wait, I'm 40 now. It was like 3 years ago. That's right. Yeah, that's math. So I was 37, got on a plane for the first time, East Coast to West Coast, flew. I guess it looks opposite on your screen. I stopped in Texas for like 2 minutes, got on a different plane, flew. I literally saw nothing in the middle of the country between Maryland and California. And the 37 years I lived in Maryland, I hardly ever left Maryland. I maybe went to New York for a week. I went to Philadelphia for work when I was I was like a trainer. I trained people who were opening new stores in a company that I worked for. Let me think. I didn't go that many places. Virginia was kind of semi-attached, and it was part of like the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. So I kind of crossed over into Virginia a few times. Did I mention New York City? Never been to New Jersey, but I've been to New York City. And so that was it. And I'd never been in any place too long. And the only places I lived was Maryland, Baltimore, and like the PG County area. So in that sort of DC zone. And then I flew across the country at 37 years old, and I've pretty much lived in the Bay Area for the last 3 years. At this point, like I spent a few months in Oregon. I went to Arizona for RTR. But it's basically just been up and down the West Coast. Obviously, I drove to Vancouver one time, and I was in Washington long enough to get this van. There is so much of the country that I have not seen, and I'm not getting any younger. So if I can use YouTube and this new van to actually see some of the country and not like lose my whole life before I get to see more than a little bit of the East Coast and up and down the West Coast, mostly driving through a lot of things more than being able to stay anywhere, that's something I want to do. And if I can only do it for a year and then I have to go back to getting like a desk job, that's okay with me. What's not okay is not trying, you know. This channel has grown way more than I expected. It has bought me gifts that I could not have imagined and that I wasn't even looking for. Like, I was going to do a working Joe channel, but I want to actually like see some of the country. Like I said, I'd never been on a plane before I was 37. I always wanted to get on a plane, but my mom just wasn't a traveler, and that's just the way it was. And she was a beautiful, wonderful person, but traveling was not. Have I ever shown you guys a picture of my mom? Wait, right here. So that's baby me, and that's my mama. But my mom just wasn't a traveler. She liked to be places that she was familiar with, which is funny because her sense of direction was so much better than mine. Like, I could go around the corner right now and turn left and not know how to get back. That once I get used to an area, that's not true, but I'm very good at getting lost. She just wasn't a traveler. So like, if I can find a way to sort of use what's happened to me through this channel to actually see some of the world, if it's for 2 months, not even the world, just the United States. If it's just for 2 months, great. If it's for 3 months, great. If it's for 6 months, great. I'm not going to lose anything by not trying to see more of the world, you know, than, you know, the places I've stuck to because like I've had to some extent, for work reasons or limited funds reasons or like not having a vehicle reasons, because I'm talking about my whole life, not just the last couple of years when I've been living in a van. Also, I just realized something. It's almost August. It was August 2 years ago when I moved into a car, or had to move into a car. And then like within a few months, I decided to commit to full time and started trying to get a minivan. But it's been 2 years since like I've had any sort of lease association with standard housing. And I was like, oh yeah, because I wasn't tracking these things like, let me write down this date as the day I started nomad life. Like I didn't really track things like that. So it's interesting. It's just very interesting. I'm just running my mouth and running my mouth. All right. So I have some errands to run. I have to clean the minivan. People are gonna be so mad. They're gonna like click on this and be like, "We wanted a tour." It's coming. It's coming. You'll see plenty of the inside in the van in the coming weeks. But that's basically where I am right now. I need to clean the minivan. I need to not have two vans because I've been in a two van shuffle for the last three days. I've lived at Home Depot and they just haven't kicked me out. So like I'll move one van to work on it and then I'll move the other van beside it. So right now I'm in the middle of a two van shuffle without anywhere to live. And that's not fun, but I needed the time to really sort out like what I needed in this van, what I don't need anymore, what I want to donate. And now I just need to clean the minivan so I can give it to its new owner. And I don't give people, if anybody saw my Oregon videos, you saw how I cleaned that apartment before I turned the keys in. I'm going to do the exact same thing with the minivan. I'm going to clean it to the best of my ability before I hand it over. The cabinetry, the electrical system, the fridge, all that's going to stay in there. The camping cot, he's probably going to rip that all out and do like his own build. But like if he needs to like sleep in it the first couple of nights, he has it. Like he has the ability to sleep in it. He also has an animal, a dog that he needs to take care of. So like it's a sleepable space until he like tweaks it. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. If I missed your super chat, I am so sorry. The thing kept scrolling, and before I knew it, I was overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed by the amount of love that I got in this chat, and all the comments and all the positive energy, and annoying. I'm sorry about annoying all the people who really wanted like a van tour. Like I said, all that stuff is coming. Don't be too mad at me. And then everybody's going to unsubscribe. And I'm going to be down to like 8K again. All right. Bye-bye.